Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thanks to my neighbor, we are harvesting breadfruit from her tree in her garden. These fruits are beginning to ripen, so they need to be harvested before they get rotten. Breadfruit gets its name from when it is freshly cooked. It smells and looks like freshly baked bread. I will show you exactly what that looks like. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the kitchen now and I'm going to show you how I roast my breadfruits in the oven. Okay, I'm just going to kind of wipe them off a little bit, not wet them up, just wipe them off, and then I will show you how I wrap them in foil before I place them in the 400 degrees oven. Now I'm placing them in this container because of the holes in it. You see, it's easier to get the heat coming from the top of the oven and also on the bottom of the oven to get to the breadfruits. It lessens the time for the baking as well. These white things is the sap that comes from the breadfruit itself. You know, the sap spews out of here and runs all over the breadfruit. These breadfruit are totally fit. They may look small, but this is where you can say, don't let the size fool you. Never judge a book by its cover. They're totally fit. In fact, this one and this one are kind of ripened. I like them like that. I like to roast them when they're kind of turning to get ready to ripe. Okay, so what I do is make sure the stem comes out, and I make an entryway for the heat to go through. So I'm going to kind of do this. Make an X or a cross on each of them. The heat will go through and roast the entire fruit. Now, the reason why I think these breadfruits are so small is that the environments it's in sometimes bring cold weather. So it's not like in the islands where you have the temperatures always temperate. Here we get cold weather in the winter in a few days, and so they don't get to grow as big as breadfruits normally do. That's what I think. So now I'm going to use foil, and I'm going to wrap them in the foil. Each one will be wrapped like that. It keeps the moisture in. The breadfruit will come out looking and tasting very good. Okay, now for the oven. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and a half, and I think that they are ready. I'm going to test them by putting the knife through them. Okay, let's see. Yes, it did for that. And like I said before, some of them were ripening. So yeah, they're ready, and they're quite hot. So what I'm going to do is let them cool, and then I'll get back to you to show you what they really look like on the inside. So I've opened them up to let the heat come out so I can handle them better. Okay, folks, now they're all cooled. And they're much easier to handle. Some of them are a little bit riper than others. Breadfruit is a very starchy, versatile fruit. Yeah, and it can be eaten at different stages of ripeness. I prefer them when they're just about starting to ripe, much like this one. There are many recipes that can be made with this fruit. I know that in some regions, like Hawaii, they wait for it to be very, very ripe, and then they eat it just like that. No baking, no cooking, just like you pick a ripe fruit from the tree. They just open it up when it's very ripe, and that's how it's eaten. See what it looks like on the inside? And this is the heart. This is a staple food in many tropical regions. I remember reading once upon a time that breadfruit is capable of preventing, what do you call, starvation. That there's so much breadfruit in the world that if it's given to the areas where there's lack of food, you will not have starvation going on in the world. See, I cut out the heart last because if you cut it out first while you're slicing up the fruit, it will just totally break up into pieces. So I like to just leave the heart until the end. Breadfruit is very nutritious. It's a good source of potassium, calcium, of course, carbohydrates, and many other sources of minerals, including iron. Breadfruit can be served and eaten just like how you would do potatoes. Let me taste it. And some people fry it after it's baked. or roasted. After it's roasted, I like to do that. I like to fry it. Yeah, perfect. Breadfruit can be baked, steamed, fried, boiled, or grilled. hmm Some people even use it to make dessert. You can even use it to make salad like you would potato salad. I've even had it as a drink. Yeah, it's very, very versatile. It can be pickled. hmm Sometimes marinated with flour. Some people even um, dry it and pound it into gluten-free flour. Now, this is not going to be just for us here. I'm going to be sharing this with family and friends. Let me peel the rest of these and come back to you. This is the last one, and it looks so beautiful. Breadfruit, when it's roasted or fried or boiled, or whatever way you prepare it, can be eaten with your favorite protein. Some people, while it's hot, put a little butter on it and eat it like bread and butter. It's not often that you see this, but here's a seed. Yeah, the seed was hidden in the heart. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. It was roasted at 400 degrees for 90 minutes, and it's delicious. Now I'm going to divide this up and share it with family. Thank you for watching, and please come back next time and see what's happening, either in the kitchen or in the Charles Fort Lauderdale garden.